Let me start by complimenting Indiana. I think they've got a really talented football team. They're very, very difficult to handle in all three phases of the game. They play really hard, and it really took everything we had today to be 1-0. I'm proud of my team. I was proud of how we fought back in the first half to get to where we were at halftime, and then I'm really proud of how they finished. That's I think by the end of the game, our young secondary was even younger, and they continued to play, and we found a way to get some stops and made a play on special teams, scored on special teams, had a couple PATs blocked in the game, and win the game on a field goal. So it's probably some irony there as well. But I'm really proud of the effort. Really proud of how hard the players fought, more so than really any of the plays that they made. Questions?
Is there a message down 25 points with 18 minutes to play? Was there a message on the sideline?
There's no specific message. The message is really serious to serious. Keep learning, keep getting better. That's what we did. When you get into a game like that, you're going to need some scores. I would imagine there'll be a question as to why I went for 2 at one point. I just felt like in terms of possessions, I couldn't guarantee we were going to get as many stops as we did, so I started going for 2 a little earlier than normally I would. Probably could have come back to get us, but it didn't. We're fortunate to kick the field goal at the end. But really, really pleased with how Chris handled that last drive, managed the clock, and allowed us to kick the field goal in the time to run out.
Coach, how's it feel to be back after 3 games on the sideline and get this kind of victory?
Being on the sideline feels the way it always does. It's one of the best days of the year. We're only guaranteed 12 of them a year, so it was great to be out there. I love being out there with the team. It's a great group of young people to work with.
How do you explain the 52 points in the 2.5 quarters and then 4 straight defensive stops? Is it adjustments?
There's no doubt. Yeah, there's no question. It's adjustments. It's guys making plays. I know Isaiah had an interception, and then on the first play of the next drive, Anthony had an interception. And we were closer on some others earlier in the game, and others we weren't. But I think it's just a matter of continuing to compete. And it's not easy to do. It takes tough-minded people, and I think we have that.
Chris showed you today, obviously, it was kind of up and down start.
I got to watch it on film to really see why. When you say up and down start, exactly what that means. The interception I thought was pass interference. I got to look at it on film. I don't know what it looked like on TV. It just looked like Leonte got hit, and then the ball hit him and it popped up in the air on him. But Chris did a good job. There's some throws he can make that he didn't make today. I think when he looks at the film, he'll see that. But just like the rest of the team, he continued to play, and down the stretch he finished.
Did you say anything to the field goal kicker before he went out? Everybody's pretty sure he would kick the field goal. Did you say anything to him, or just leave him alone?
Do your job. Just go out there and do your job. It's become a common expression thanks to Coach Belichick, but it works, and it's appropriate for sure. And the message was really for the entire team because, again, that's a unit that didn't have a great day today, but when we needed one more play, they were able to execute and do it for us, which was great.
Does it make it, I don't know what the right term would be, more impressive or stand out more in your head that most of this comeback was made with Leonte on the sideline because that's who we've seen Chris throw the ball to?
Part of the reason we were in place to make the comeback was because of Leonte. But you've heard me say it over and over again. That we have confidence in Carlton and Andre and Janarian. We have confidence in those guys. They're good football players. So it didn't surprise me. It'll add to whatever confidence they already had. I think they're confident players. But the more you make plays in a game, the more confident player you become, and they certainly did that today.
Coach, your biggest deficit, or excuse me, the school's biggest deficit was 25 points ever to come back.
I was here for that one too,
Talk about that one and talk about how this feels against that one.
Well, after that one, I didn't think I'd ever see another one. And then we're certainly not trying to create that situation. But to be able to do it again, and I'm going to repeat myself, I just think it starts with having tough-minded people. Because if you don't have tough-minded people, then they never give themselves a chance to make some of those plays. And we feel like we've got that. And, Robert Martin was having a pretty good game, and he had a couple carries in the drive. We put Paul James in there, and he rips off a 40-yard touchdown. So, Paul James is a tough-minded guy. There's maybe other players that if you put them in the game in that spot, they might still be thinking of the fact that they hadn't played as much as maybe they wanted to. But that's not what he was doing. Yeah, we moved away from it. We felt like Robert was really feeling it better than anybody, and you know how I feel about those guys. I think we've got 4 running backs in that room who help us win every game, and I think they did today. But Robert got hot today. There's no question about it. But as you saw, I wasn't afraid to put Paul in there. I want to have a fresh back in the game. You know, we're talented enough at that position that we shouldn't have to have a back in the game if we don't think he's fresh.
What happened on the 2 blocks, the 2 PATs? Naked eye, obviously, and able to watch them, but Kyle too low, protection up the middle.
It's hard for me to see on the field if the kick is too low. It's probably easier to see on a replay or something like that. We'll take a look at that. But the protection wasn't good enough. The protection was leaky in the middle, and we got to get that fixed. One of the things that you can always guarantee in football is if you show your upcoming opponent a weakness, they're going to attack it. So we've shown them a weakness, and we better get it fixed before the next game.
Big plays being a factor, but what about special teams in particular? Kumoko's score.
Yeah, it was a timely play, and you know, picking up a fumble is not it's not something that's always easy to do. We practice it during the week, and I'll look to see on film if he did it exactly the way we teach it. But it looked like he picked it up pretty clean and did a nice job getting it in the end zone. It was a big play. I didn't bring my drive chart in, but it was I think it was like a touchdown and then a stop, and then we had a special teams touchdown. Then we got to stop another touchdown. So, you know, when you're down that many points, you need some quick scores, and that allowed us to get one.
Was that the moment where you thought? I mean, I know you always think you're going to win the game, but was that a moment where you thought maybe that sparked the sideline, or maybe it seemed possible?
I try not to put my mind in the winning the game mode, you know, because we really have to be. We got to work drive to drive, but that gave us momentum in the game. There's no question about it. You know that because I think we had just scored and then we picked that up, and now all of a sudden you get 14 quick points. It energizes your sideline a little bit.
Coach, what can a win like this do for your program, especially the way you came back going forward?
It's a good win for our program, but we've got another game next week against another good opponent, and in this conference and in this division of the conference, every week is going to be a battle. Every week, and we battled today, which was good. And now we're going to have to come out and do it again. I would hesitate to put it on a grander scale than that, only because when we come back tomorrow, we need to make corrections and turn the page.
Coach, what's your report, but any preliminary word on Peru?
No, nothing yet. We'll check him out when we get back. You know, flying is never good for those things, so we'll see how he reacts to that and get a look at him tomorrow, and we'll go from there.
Coach, what's it like coaching in a game like this? The kid was kind of pretty serious.
I'm sorry, who? Oh, no, well, I'm not going to comment on it now. We'll put something out on Monday, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now. In the back.
Coach, what's it like coaching in a game like this? I mean, as chaotic as it was, is it any different? Does the strategy change because it's ebbing and flowing like really nothing else? No?
Well, I think what happens when you get in a game like this is you tend to be a little bit more aggressive offensively, you know, because you know you're going to need points. I think they did the same thing. I mean, you saw we had scored on we had just intercepted them and scored a touchdown, and they came back and they threw it deep on the first play. They were being aggressive too. I mean, I think both sides were feeling that it was going to take some points to win this game.
What happened? 2 more questions. At the start of the third quarter, you were end of the game, you were better. First half, it was back and forth. The first 10 minutes of the third quarter, did you guys come out flat, or how do you explain that?
No, I mean, if anything, you would. I don't think we came out flat. I mean, we had a lot of juice going in the end, you know, into the locker room. We just taken the lead. I thought we felt pretty good about where we were. I don't think we executed very well. You know, we didn't run the ball very well early in the third quarter on offense. We certainly didn't stop the run very well on defense. So, but I think it'll go more to execute. I don't think there was a lack of effort or a lack of emotion.
Kyle, the execution, speaking of which for Chris, on the last drive, he touched on it a little bit, but the 4-minute offense that he ran in command the whole time, just what did that say to his growing up into this role?
I think it's a big step. I think it's a big step. One of the things about being the starting quarterback is you have to be able to handle all the situations that come up in a game, from 2-minute to 4-minute, to no huddle, to third down. You know, all those things are critical for a quarterback to be able to handle. And the guys who become high-level players at that position, they handle them well. So today was a great experience for him because he had to handle all those things. I thought he did a good job, and I thought the people around him did a good job making plays, and that helps you too. Thank you.